The wedding was good. I'm here with my main man, Rami Polinsky, the most controversial man in sports. He's here to bring the heat. He's here to bring the meat, and he's here to bring the beat. That was corny as shit. No, everything's good. I'm sorry about last week, guys. It was a wild week for me. The reason that I didn't pod, not only did we lost, but I also got dumped. So I just wasn't in the mood. I just was like, not in a mood to do a pod. So I was like, not doing it this week. I'm gonna push it
Yeah,
off to next week.
I hear you. By the way, just on theme, credit to a big dumper, Cal Rayleigh, who won the home run derby tonight on the theme of dumpers. But and here we are, breaking news: Avi Barron not going to make it tonight.
What a bum. I'm kicking him off for Chaim Marquez. We need someone more consistent. We need someone more reliable. I don't care how good his takes are, and they're great.
Uh,
Well, I need someone we could call it 11-15 that doesn't have a puppy.
that's very fair. But
I'm hosting families
let's
right now.
let's get right into it. You might as well
All
start.
right, hold on.
Might as well start with what's freshest on your mind. I know you just watched a couple close games tonight. So what are Jack's first thoughts?
Well, I again. Well, let's get into it. I know my Hinge profile pops up immediately. I'm back on the grind. Well, I'll tell you, I didn't really watch that Cavs game, but I think we should start off because you remember the Cavs. Last week, you guys beat the Hornets by one, who I think are the most underrated team in the league. I think they're the number one team that you do not want to play if you're a first round team that had a good season. We could take a look at them. Their current record is 1-3, but they lose to you by one. They beat the Pistons nicely. They haven't had Benny Tuckman for 3 of their games. So that team's really good. I don't think I would want to see them. And then tonight, the Cavs, who we all like your roster, it was everyone's pick to be a really good team to start off the season. You lose to the Hawks that don't have Mikey. What's your take right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing with our food a lot, which is not great, right? I think we have a lot of turnovers. We take some bad shots, right? We have talent. I think there's we're leaving meat on the bone, to put it nicely. I think we can be playing more efficient, just better basketball. So sometimes teams play poorly, and I think we're just playing poorly. You know, gotta focus and just play better, more team basketball. It's not more
How do you get
complicated.
how do you get out of this rut? You've been a captain for many years. You've made championship games. Let's say you're the captain of this team. You're not. You are on this team, but let's say I am Avi Nat. I go to you. I'm a newer captain, not brand new, but newer. And I go to you and I say, you've been around a long time. What am I saying to my team to
We lost you here a second. Say that again. We lost you, Jack. Now you're back.
yeah, no worries.
Yeah, you're telling me what should Avi Knapp be telling the boys?
Well, if you went to you and asked for advice and said, what do we say to this team to get
Yeah,
back on track?
I mean, if we want to talk technical stuff, right, we have to stop turning the ball over, right? Like we have constant turnovers. We take bad shots in the lane. We don't do enough drive and kick. We do either kick, kick, or drive. There's no drive and kick, you know. And on a non-technical thing, I think we need a lot, more positivity, right? Like these games are a grind. Nobody plays well, right? These are, we all play better when we're playing one-on-one. This is brutal Jewish basketball. So we need to play more like a team because the only way to win in this league is playing like a team. It's too much of a grind.
I think that was really well said. Like you can't just pick your teammates, right? It is a draft. You just have to take the best player that's available. That's not necessarily the best fit, or a fit that you could surmise in your head. Like sometimes a player that falls to you and you have to take him. And sometimes a player that you wanted to take that you thought would fall gets taken, and you don't get to decide. I agree with you. You got to just go back to the basics of playing basketball. I
Yeah.
think that's a really good take.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm not too worried. I think that we'll round it out. You know, wherever we land in the playoffs, nobody's gonna want to play us. No one's gonna blow us out ever. Our team is way too good on defense and way too scrappy, and we have enough scorers that we're scoring points. We're not gonna pull a Clippers, which we'll touch on more in a second, who scored 2 points for the first 14 minutes of their second half tonight. That'll never happen with our team, and nobody's gonna want to see us. We may have not done ourselves any favor with the seeding, and we'll be in for the grind. But keep grinding away. I'm not too worried over the long
I
haul.
wouldn't worry either. Everyone makes it, and it's just where it lands and its availability in this thing. And as long as your guys are available, you should be okay. Before I go to that Clippers and tonight's game, I'm gonna jump it back. I'm gonna start. I don't know if you've had a chance to see this team, but we
Which
had the
one?
team of the best team in the league so far. The
The
flat
Suns,
the
right?
Suns versus the Rockets. Suns obviously put the beat down on them. They put a beat down the night before against the Clippers.
Yeah,
Is this a
I caught some of the Suns. They sniped the guy. You know, like they from what I hear, this 6'5" monster that they have was not even a first round pick, right?
Oh, this was a huge mistake by the Levies allowing. Oh, so I think the Suns team is the greatest defensive team, one of the greatest defensive teams I've ever seen in this league. They're certainly up there, certainly top five. This guy Tony Angle is a, you know, Ben Wallace,
I was gonna
Wembenyama,
say Tim
Mutombo,
Duncan. The way
Tim Duncan.
he moves like Duncan. He's tall, he's long, he's methodical.
Yeah, no, Duncan's a great comparison. I was talking on the defensive end, but Duncan was an elite defensive
Elite
player, so that's a
defensive,
great.
yeah, as good as it gets on defense too.
So they get Angle in the second round and Tarzik so they get two first rounders, and they get Caesar, who's a champion, and they get Shlomo Mizels, who's in a perfect situation finally after years of being kind of put on situations that don't make sense for him. This is the team to beat, right? They're a wrecking wrecking ball defensively. They just don't let you score.
Yeah, they're from what I've seen, they're as good as it gets. Some team's gonna have to light it up from three to get it going. I mean, the way your team plays, Jack, you guys could probably compete because you play so few half court possessions, right? Like you guys are playing run and gun. You guys are playing like the actual Suns, right? You guys are taking shots quickly. Johnny Levine is constantly getting looks in transition. So that's probably the way you're gonna have to beat him because you're not gonna beat that team in the half court.
They have two big men in Engel and Markovitz. With Caesar, they got Tarzik, Mizels. They got another guy off the bench that I'm forgetting, and I'm sorry. He's
Yeah,
gonna
no,
get
that's what I'm
mad at
saying.
me.
Like in the half court, they're just bigger and stronger and probably faster than everybody
Yeah,
else.
all yeshivish guys, and they're all good character guys. Except for Mizels, and I'm only saying that because he told me. He told me that himself, so
It's
I'm gonna
okay.
be able
That
to
guy
say that.
now that you open the waterfall, that guy is maybe the only player I've ever seen who comes close to having the amount of confidence that I have. You know, that guy's a certified chucker, but every now and again he gets it cooking.
Rami, I lose you.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying how every now and again Mizels gets it cooking, but he's the only player in the league who has as much confidence as I do.
He's a very good player, and he's a great locker room guy. He just made that joke to me when I was driving. I called him up to talk about the Suns, and he said himself, "I'm the only a-hole on the team," and so I said I'm taking that for the pod. I think that's really
Yeah,
funny.
no, listen, the guy plays with an attitude, and I respect it.
Yeah. So look out for the Suns. The Rockets on the flip. I don't think there's much to talk about. I mean, we talked about them enough already.
Yeah, it's Dan 40 or bust.
Their only win was when Dan had 40 points. I thought it was really funny that you had said Dan needs to score 40 for them to win, and they won a game. And you look at the box score, and it was literally the same day, and Dan had 40 points.
How it goes.
It is what it is. Fun for Dan. Good for him. He'll have a nice summer where he gets to chuck a
Yeah, no, he
thousand shots. I feel
definitely
bad for him.
he definitely makes a point to draft a team every year that needs him to shoot 30 times a game. So I respect his hustle.
I'm not diving in on the Rockets any more than I already have. There's no need to be redundant here. I already
No,
have.
all good.
I'm not playing the hits. All right. I feel like I'm past, I'm not Billy Joel now. I feel like Billy Joel in the 80s. I feel like I still have hits to give. I'm not going to just play the hits.
All right. On
Speaking
to your
of
next hit.
Lakers, Lakers versus the Clippers. Zaretsky hits a game winner.
Yes, that
This
was a
Lakers team now loses.
wild game.
So let me hear
That
your
was a
take. Let's hear your.
wild game.
Let me hear your
Yeah,
take on
I
this
mean,
game.
I just I like we're going back 2 weeks, so my recall's not going to be perfect here. But I definitely remember being impressed both last week and this week by Zaretsky. I feel like when I watched him last year, he wasn't as consistent as he's been this year, both from the outside and driving. Avi K mentioned to me that he thought this guy was excellent from having played with him this season, and now I have to back it up. He's been great, and he was the only player tonight who did anything for their entire team. He also had a buzzer beater tonight at the end of the first half too.
So they get the ball, they get a swing, they get a swing. What was it? What did the Lakers do to lose this one? Was the game just tight the whole game?
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of bouts of not scoring on either side during this game. Like it just wasn't. It was yeah. Like they when you play their team, they play a lot of zone. The game ends up becoming like a shooting fest. And if teams get cold, it's just slow, right? Like teams are playing in the half court, not a lot of transition. And that was what happened to them again tonight also. Their game was 23-21 at halftime and they were in the zone. The other team hit a couple threes and they just didn't. And minute go by, 2 minutes, the next thing you know, it's literally 14 minutes and the score's 41-23 and it was 23-21 at halftime. So great
The
kudos for
Lakers.
them last week for pulling out a victory, but they got to figure out something on offense because it's
Yeah. So
bad.
let's talk about the Clippers tonight, and then we can reverse to the Lakers tonight. The Clippers tonight,
No
second half.
Lipner. No Lipner. So we
So
have to
what's
give
up
him
with Lipner? What's
I
the
I
breaking
don't know.
news?
That was new information. Also, he just certainly wasn't out there. We'll have to get some of the inside scoop. Um, but yeah, I mean, like the first half was competitive. I know, like Avi K is, I'm sure, thinking this about himself. His shooting just has to improve. He's not making enough of his jump shots, and the team without Lifner and Avi K not hitting jumpers, they're just not going to survive at all.
I would argue that without Lipner, this team is in trouble.
For sure, they're
Like
in
they
trouble,
they
and
get
teams
beat.
are
Yeah.
clamping down Ike, who just has no room to breathe. And why, like, if other guys aren't making shots, like they're in bad shape. They're in really bad shape. Dave did his best down low, had a nice couple post moves, but they're lacking offense. It's not more complicated.
It's not more complicated than that. The Clippers are
The
now 3 and what are they? They lost tonight,
I
right?
yeah.
They're 3-3, 6 games. There's one more game for them, right? There's one more game
If
for the
if
Clippers.
they've played three, if they played six already, then yeah, they only have one more. Feels like
Dude,
they've only played five though. No, aren't like
no, you're
my
right.
team's
They're
only
three
played
and
five
two.
games.
They're 3-2.
Yeah,
They get
that
the
that
Pels
feels
next
like they've
week
overachieved.
and the Hornets. They could get only 2 losses is pretty good. They
Yeah, like I
lose to
said,
the
they sniped
Suns.
that victory last week to put them back over 500 or to 3-1, I guess. But now their true colors are showing a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what, Moskovich, their size versus the size of the Wolves have size, so that was just not a great matchup where they could
The Wolves are great.
dominate with their size. Yeah, the
The
Wolves,
Wolves
and
are
if they're
great.
losing, yeah, if they're missing Lipner, it's not a good. It's just they have trouble. The
Yeah,
Lakers perplex me because
yeah,
the
yeah. I
Lakers.
don't know. I don't know this guy Jake Goldberg, but I know
No,
that
he's
he
great.
has confidence and has balls. So
No,
yeah,
Jake
please
Goldberg's a
fill us
great
in.
player. He hits the game winner tonight. He killed us in the Heat. Or we have one loss this season, and the highest plus. No, we don't have the highest plus minus. We have the third, the highest in our conference. But we have we're 3-1, and we get totally toasted by the Lakers. They beat the crap out of us, right? And the Lakers then they lose to the Suns. Okay, everyone has been losing to the Suns, and then it was week one. I can't really blame them. They beat the Jazz. That everyone could agree that's a good win. They beat us. Everyone could agree that's a good win. They lose by one to the Lakers. I mean to the Clippers at a buzzer. Oh, that's pretty good. I mean you battled, but then you lose to the Pelicans. I just, well, no, they beat the Pelicans by one. They're at 2-3. This team could win the whole championship, or they could get bounced in the play-in. And I'm not so sure I'd be shocked by either.
Yeah, like they had. I watched most of it. They had moments where they looked horrible, and then moments where they hit a couple buckets. And this guy Jay Goldberg suddenly looked like he was awesome. So I like you. Very unpredictable.
Well, the trick, you can't let Goldberg and Heller go off, and it's hard because they're two of the best scorers in the game. So it's easier said than done. Like those two boys could really score. But if you're able to contain those two, I think the secret for the Lakers, I mean, Zucker's certainly very good. They're big man. Winters is certainly very good. They got some other guys that I'm sure I'm forgetting that I don't mean any disrespect by. But those two guys are very key for them to have long-term success. And the question is, as the playoffs get deeper and you face teams with really good man-to-man defense, are those guys able to get easier open shots for some of their teammates so that if they do shoot a cold night, it's not over for them? And I think that's what they need to kind of lock in on. It was a good win tonight. The fact is the Pelicans, even though they don't have a great record, they have guys that can guard Heller and Goldberg, right? They have Chesner and Block and Mitnick and Charlie Benheim, and they have defenders. So, I think that's one of the reasons that a team that has not been doing so well in the Pelicans, who I think the roster is very good. I think it's a long season, take some time, especially Rafi Mitnick getting back into shape. But nonetheless, you would expect the Lakers to come in with the pedigree they've shown and put a beat down on. But you have a team that can defend their two guys. Something for those two guys, I think, to think about moving forward.
Yeah, no, they're both those teams are interesting. Obviously, I think that the Lakers are better than the Pelicans, but like you could run into it in the Pelicans also. They can get hot. They have guys that can play D. So you could for sure run into it one night.
The Pelicans have a great win last week. They almost have a second great win this week. They dropped to 1-4. They dropped to 1-4, but could certainly have been 2-3.
Yeah,
they beat JJ Zackheim last week. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts, mind change on the Thunder? I know we didn't love them due to roster construction and how weird it was with all the guards. But after seeing them last week with all the shooting, I know they lost.
Remind me who their guys are again?
It's JJ Zackheim. It's Daniel Malka. It's Rimberg. It's Svi Kaplan. It's Daniel Wizzo. They play last week without Wizzo. They lose by 6. You would imagine that they would win. Does your opinion change on them? I don't know if you caught that game. I caught that game.
I'm a big believer in shooters. That team of shooters,
Yeah.
You get a team of shooters against a team that likes to play zone more than man, and all of a sudden it's a bad matchup.
Yeah.
So, I'm a fan of teams that can light it up.
So I watched that game, and it's so funny. I thought the Thunder played so beautifully and so perfectly well. And I thought the Pelicans, they played really well against the zone in the second half, and they kind of took apart the zone with passing. I'm shocked why the Thunder didn't go away from it. I actually thought the Thunder won the game, even though I knew that the Pelicans won the game, because there was moments I wanted to say congrats on the win, because I thought they played so well together on offense. But But on the flip side, their size hurt them. They had to go zone. I think I don't know why they didn't switch out because Nolan Block got in the middle. They were passing. They were hitting the open man, and the Pelicans made layup after layup. I mean, eventually Rafi Mitnick hit a game winner. It was a tight game. He hit a dagger, a game dagger, not a game winner. And it was anyone's ball game. And look, if I'm the Thunder, so I'll tell you my thoughts to answer the question that I asked you on does my thoughts change? Yeah, it doesn't change it from what I thought from them after week one. I mean, obviously, I had my doubts when I look at the roster construction when it started, but at this point, I think the team's really good. I think their key is to either get a very nice lead where if it just goes basket for basket, they'll win, and JJ could go for basket with anyone, or they need to keep the game within 1 to 3 points. Because if they keep it 1 to 3, 1 to 2, really, and you have JJ Zackheim, you're probably going to be better off with JJ than you on the team that doesn't have a guy that could get a bucket at any moment. But they got to be very intentional about these two things. They can't let themselves go down. They can't. They don't really have room for error, right? They don't have overwhelming size.
Shooters. If you got cold and there's no easy buckets, it snowballs fast.
Right. And then they don't have super speed. They don't have super strength. They don't have super height. They have pretty good shooting. I wouldn't say super shooting. I'd say it'd be A- shooting. Like they're great. Like it's not like it's great shooters. I would say Feld is like a super shooter, right? I would say like Nolman is a super shooter. They have really good shoot. They have great shooters. I wouldn't. Maybe Wizzo could really shoot. I don't know Rimberg. Maybe they have super shooting. They're there. Their margin for error is small, and that's always dangerous.
Correct.
But I think they're very good. I don't think I think it's
the
still
opposite. See, their team is like the opposite of my team. My team has a very large margin for error, but we keep playing in the margins. This guy
I
doesn't
think it's
drop.
hard. I think it's hard for the Cavs because again, I think you guys actually desperately need a pace setter. You need a point guard.
Yes,
You have this guy Morty Shap and you got this guy David Katz. He's a 2.
and you have
It's
Avi
an
that's
A
a very
plus.
good shooter, also catch and shoot player. But we need a facilitator. We need a Chris Paul. We need a point guard.
You need someone to set the tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Totally.
agree. So whether that be Sammy Nat or David Katz or whoever it is, but someone's got to set the tone.
Same thing. Sammy Nat can shoot the ball. I can shoot the ball. Neither one of us is good in ISO off the dribble or facilitating. So we can move the ball. I can pass the ball, but I'm not gonna get into the teeth of the defense and then facilitate. It's just not my game.
I think you guys need to trust each other more.
Well, for sure, we need to play more
because I think the styles are different, right? So like, if I have Morris Shap on my team, and I have David Katz, these are two guys that play different. David loves his points in the flow of the offense. He loves his points in the break. He loves it on back cuts, back screens, 3-4 passes, 7-6 screens. Morty loves an ISO, and he's great at it. Just like he's as good as all the greats in NBA history. T-Mac, Carmelo, Kobe. He's that level of an ISO player, right? Not everyone is that. I'm not that. I'm not, and I could maybe in the post I could for a couple plays, but not like that.
Morty's got touch too. No, Morty can break it down. No question about it.
No question about it. So, but I think what happens is when you have contrasting styles, the person who said, no, my style is right. And the person, I'm not saying this happens to you guys. I have no idea. I'm actually I'm just throwing something out there so it sounds good. But I think you have to be like, okay, so this is a play. This is where a point guard it comes into play. Morty Shap hasn't touched it in 3 possessions. He's busting his ass on defense. Let's get him a couple of shots. We could get some ISO. See if he can get something going, right? Okay. I get a rebound. I get an outlet. David Katz is leaking. I'm throwing. Okay. Avi Nat hasn't seen a 3 yet. Sammy Marcus hasn't gotten a post up yet. Okay. Let me get him the ball and get him going because I'm going to need him to rebound and defend the rim. So let me get him the ball and get him to eat. If someone on your team can decide that's going to be me and I'm going to be the guy that's going to feed the people and keep everyone satiated, you guys will be really good. But if it gets to a part where the style gets conflicting because there's no one that just takes the ball and says, "I'm going to make sure everyone
We're
eats."
currently living in this now where we're not no one's taking charge and we're not playing team basketball. But yeah, what I know we gotta get it together, but I'm not too worried.
No.
What other
Next, we'll move on.
what other games did you want to discuss before we move on?
No, we'll move on right now. We're still going. We still got a lot of games this week.
So let's rip it.
I'm ready to rip. The next one I got is Heat versus the Hawks. I don't know if you watched this one.
That's you, no?
I was in this one, so we played this one. We come off a really bad loss to the Lakers, where they completely took our lunch money. They took away the fast break. They made our zone look foolish and exposed our weakness when we have to go man. Um, Goldberg and Heller went off on us and you know, held us to terrible shooting. We shot 6 of 32 from three, and we went probably 4 for 4 down the stretch. It was a really poor performance by us and an excellent performance by the Lakers, which makes them perplexing. And we start off this next game against the Hawks, who have two of the best defenders and honestly players in tandems in the league, in Jack and Matt Reinhart, and we're down by 4 at half. What changed for us in the second half is we became more patient. We knew that we were going to get breaks. We didn't have to gut the ball. We could wait for secondary breaks. We could get whatever we want. We just have to be patient and trust each other. We played like a team. We played like a unit. Lior Kadosh hit a bunch of great threes, and we ran away with it in the second half and got hot. And we got hot. Once we get hot, it's over. Game was over very quickly in the second half. We got hot, and we locked up Jack and
Yeah,
Matt.
now I remember your size also dominated them in the second half.
So
Dominated
that's
them.
it's my worry about this Hawks team who pulled out a great win tonight. Let me tell you something about that win tonight about the Hawks. Um, you guys foul a guy. You foul Levy, which was not a bad foul. He misses the first. He misses the second, but the ref calls an inadvertent whistle, gives the guy a chance. He got his bullshit out of the way. So now his nerves are out of his system. He's playing with God's money. He makes the third. You lose the game. I would have punched a hole in the wall. I'd have been so pissed.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the whistle was. It sounded like somebody wanted the ref thought that we were calling timeout, but I think that we were telling him that we're calling a timeout on a rebound or a make, and then that's why he blew it. And then we're like, ref, we're not calling the timeout now. So I think that's what the whistle was, but I'm not 100% sure. But either way, yeah, the guy that we somehow iced ourselves. The guy missed the
That
second
was
one. The guy missed the second one and then made the third one, and then we lost by one.
unbelievable. You gave him 3 free throws.
Yeah.
Terrible. I would have been so mad. But the
Yeah.
Hawks, I never doubt Jack Reinhardt. I think he's great. Um, but I think size is going to be an issue for them. I think size is going to be an issue for them. I mean, Jack could guard a big for sure. Matty can guard a big, but then do they have enough to guard a forward? We'll just have to wait to see. They certainly have a lot more to unlock, though. I think the silver lining for the Hawks is if they could get Buazes to hit threes the way that we know that he can, if they could get Levy to hit shots the way that we know that he can, if they could get something out of their other big, I forget his name, who has tremendous size.
Lee
But if they could
Wiesel.
pull something, yeah, Wiesel, he's a big boy. They could get him to buy into a specific role, boxing out, setting screens, tip ins, not necessarily shooting threes like Mike Scott. They don't really need that. Um, they could maybe there's something here that
He's
could be unlocked.
Lee Wiesel is much closer to Mehmet Okur than he is Mike Scott.
Aren't they the same player?
Yeah, yeah, but Mike Scott has a different frame.
It was big.
Yeah, but Mehmet Okur is bigger.
Yeah, they were both centers. I don't know. They're
Mike
both
Scott
shooting
was a power
center.
forward. Mike Scott was a power forward.
I don't remember. Or Pero Antich. I get them confused.
Hero Antich. Oh, Jack. Leave the NBA knowledge to me.
Okay, we'll go with you.
Yeah.
We'll go Pistons Bucks. Um, so the Bucks, who were number one on our power rankings prior
Yeah.
to
Do they have? I feel like they never have a full roster.
They never have a full roster. Danny Weinberger just got injured.
Again,
Um,
what's wrong
yeah,
with
so
him?
he's out. I think he hurt his ankle. He might be out for a few weeks. And I don't think he's ever going to
Coming
be
back from
healthy
like a torn ACL.
coming back from torn ACL. He is definitely playing more nervous. I mean, this was not a great matchup for the Bucks because the Pistons play very physical and they don't have a care in the world if you get hurt. With Ellie the dog, Greenberg,
Oh, yeah.
Marcus,
Oh
yeah,
my
those guys are
gosh.
going to play. They're going to
He
dive, and they'll
Greenberg
if your
took
legs are in
my
the way.
Greenberg took my advice to heart the last couple games when I said you have 20 minutes to use 6 fouls. He's been using them.
He's been vicious. I wouldn't. He's been ready to go. I don't, and nobody wants to start a fight with that team or get in a bumping match with them because they'll win. Needless
Yeah,
to
they also
say, it
have
was
Chaim Marcus, who just is it reminds me a ton of Rico Bosco. I don't know if you know who that is.
he reminds me of the Spider-Man villain, the Rhino. That's who he reminds me of. Straight from the comic books. You going
I
downhill,
listen,
he's like Eric
but
said.
the guy's a bit of a bucket.
He's good. He's a good
Yeah, he's a
player.
bit of a bucket.
He's a very good player. He's playing really well. With Ari Mitnick, that team's a favorite. And
Yeah,
then
I
on the
mean
flip,
Ari's a raging bull.
yeah, no, that whole team should have been the Bulls because they're all Bulls on that team.
Yeah,
On the
totally
flip,
agree. Although Piston's not a bad one either.
what do you mean? Oh no, yeah, of course
A
not. They
piston,
totally are
a
bad
piston is
boys.
a horse. You know, we're close.
And Bad Boy and Era, Ben
Yeah,
Wallace,
yeah.
Bill
Piston's not a
Ambier,
bad team for them.
Rodman. It's a right call for their mentality
Definitely,
and what they bring to the table. Um,
definitely.
they look the Bucks they lost to them. Um, and health is going to be the question and whether or not they could keep the locker room together. It's going to
I
rely
feel
on Ben
I
Haber.
feel like we should punish Barron here because if we talk about this game, we're gonna have to compliment him. But
No.
I think as a punishment, we should talk about the previous game that Barron had, where he had a game-winning three at the buzzer and totally bricked it. Remember?
Yeah. Screw him.
Yeah, screw
Screw
him.
him for not coming on.
Let's not talk about the game winner he had last week, but let's talk about the game winner that he missed 2 weeks ago.
I'm gonna move. I'm actually gonna do double, and I'm gonna move on from this game.
Yes. In short, Barron hit a game winner this week, missed one the week before. On to the next team.
So the next one I got. I'm gonna go on. We spoke about Hornets, Cavs. Hornets are
Yeah.
just a really good team. You guys were able to eke one out past them. Did Benny Tuckman play in that game?
I couldn't tell you. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But
So
who's next?
no. So we got Kings versus Nets. Kings just demolished the Nets. Did our boy Sudwards play in that game?
Yeah, but the rest of their team, remember their game versus you, Jack? I haven't watched them since, but their team defense was so bad that I think I could see them losing a lot of games because like they just had to have no idea how to play defense.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting to think the team with R.A. Halpert and Drazen and all these guys.
Yeah, I mean, lost you again, Jack.
You got to put
Yeah,
the Heat on the board. Um, shout out to the Sixers. They're 3-1 despite having a really bad loss to the Pistons. They've really bounced back um, in a big way. And we could talk about them. They had a huge win against the Knicks the week,
who do they
last
have
week.
beside that? That's Stevie Paul's team, right? Who else they have?
They got Chesner, Stevie Paul, Jonah Lasco. They got Chesner, Stevie Paul, Jonah Lasco, Jay Shapp,
Yeah, yeah. Chesner had a
and
very good
Adam
game.
Dietz. And
Josh
Adam Dietz.
Chesner, right? Or Josh or Evan, one of them, whichever one they
Evan,
have.
Evan, Evan.
Evan had a great game last week.
Yeah. What happened with the did you catch the Celtics versus the Knicks?
I don't think so, But I feel like Barron told us that the Celtics. Who won that? Knicks.
Knicks.
Yeah, Barron told us that the Celtics are just bad.
You got to give me more than that, my friend.
I didn't
We're on
see
the
it.
podcast.
This is what Barron said. He's the one who had the takes. They should blame him. He's not here.
He's not here. That bum. We're gonna move. So back in on the Kings. They play tremendous defense. They make things very hard. They're going to be a team that nobody wants to play. My final four pick is probably going to be Kings. Suns are going to face each other off at some point in the playoffs, whether that be
Yeah, I
in the
would say
playoffs
the
or the
top four.
championship.
By the way, I would put the Wolves in any top
And
four
the Wolves are
conversation
there
now.
too.
Yeah, the
And the
Wolves are in any
Wolves.
top four. We lost to them in OT, and that was a dogfight of a game, which is why I know we can compete with anybody because they're easily a top four team. They're great.
So moving on, we got Wolves versus the Nuggets. Wolves just beat up on the Nuggets. Wolves are catching their stride.
Yeah.
They're catching their stride. They got vets in Herman Mason and Rami Leifer. They got new guys that know what they're doing in Benami and Sam Benheim. And they're just a really complete squad with a really good leader. They beat the crap out of the Clippers tonight.
Certified
They're on a
draft
roll.
wizard,
They're
Rami
tough.
Leifer.
They're strong. On the if you gotta be pulling, I was gonna say pulling your hair out, but you gotta be,
I lost you. We lost you, Jack. I don't know where you are that your service is this bad, but I'll do my best to keep the guests entertained because I'm fairly sure that the Zoom is recording even while you're totally frozen.
no, yeah, you're right here. You're right here.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're,
I'm having to narrate whenever you go frozen because I think the recording is gonna have me, not you.
I'm also narrating, so it's gonna have one. It's gonna have us talking over each other. If
Okay.
you're the Nuggets, what are your thoughts here? Are you in trouble right now? You're midway through the season. You're 1-3. You came into this as a favorite with the shooting and the leadership,
Remind me
but
who their guy is again.
it's Mo Heller, it's Burry Klein, it's Josh Klein, Justin Sushine,
Yeah,
Ethan
I know
Alter.
Schussheim a long time from playing back together literally 10 years ago in Queens when I went to college there. Schussheim's a bucket, but yeah, I mean, I only saw one of their games. They seem like they lack some talent, honestly, right? Like offensive
No, but they
creation.
don't lack. I disagree. I think that's a bad take. They don't lack talent.
I said they seem like it. I know that they don't. I know Josh Klein is a bucket. I know Schussheim is a bucket. I know Burry plays like Draymond Green. I know they have talent, but they weren't playing like it. Like
I think what
they
they
were
miss
just
is
playing
size.
poorly.
I think what they're missing is size. And
Didn't last year Burry had Morty on his team? They're a good pair
yeah,
because
because they
Burry never shoots the ball.
they're a good pair. And they had Jeremy Brody,
Yeah,
and
he was.
they had a lot of
Where is
guys.
he this year? Not in the
He's
league.
not playing. He's not in the league.
His defense, I remember, was great last year.
He's one of the best defenders.
Yeah.
Moving on, the Knicks just beat up on the Celtics. I think the Knicks are tapping into what makes them great. They're coming off a really bad loss to the Sixers. Sixers proving themselves as one of the better teams in the league. They're 3-1. I'm very happy that the Sixers are 3-1 because I was beating on the drum that Stevie Paul needs to draft just shooters, and then he did, and then it wasn't looking good after that Pistons game. But seeing that they're 3-1 and it's working out for them makes me happy. Um, they beat the Magic. It doesn't matter that maybe the Magic is the worst team tied for the worst team in the conference. Go to overtime with them. It doesn't matter. Bookbinders are good, and a win's a win. They pull out a win where it mattered. They're on a little bit of a hot streak. The rest of their schedule, they have they get the Rockets in their interconference game, so that's going to be a win. Then they get the
Mm-hmm.
Heat. They get the Heat for the battle of first place, and then they get the Hawks, who don't have anyone to guard Stevie really, even though
Yeah,
Jack
that should be a win
Reinhardt.
for the Sixers for sure.
Well, I mean, Jack Reinhardt will have something to say about not being able to guard Stevie because he certainly can guard bigs. So they have a one really tough game left versus the Heat, which should be a good matchup. but they could be going into the playoffs with tremendous position and looking to make a really deep run. And look, if something happens to the Suns and some guy gets hurt or someone misses a playoff game for a wedding and the Suns get knocked off, and you have Stevie Paul with the shooters, and
Dangerous.
it's dangerous, right? I think Tommy
Dangerous.
Angle is maybe the only guy you're worried. If you're Stevie, you're looking across the league. He's probably the only guy you go like, oh man, that might be tough. But if something happens to that team, Sixers are sniffing at a path to the championship. So
I
I
don't
think that's my
disagree.
dark horse.
I don't disagree. Yeah, like I said,
Um,
I don't know if the Wolves are considered a dark horse, but
no, they're a favorite.
I would ride them to the mountaintop.
No, they're a favorite.
Yeah.
The Jazz beat the Grizzlies. They double team Boozy. Boozy probably has 11 assists. His teammates came to play. They got a bit. Goffeld splashing threes. John
Jazz,
Shearer doing his thing.
Jazz,
Polinsky.
Jazz of talent,
Jazz have talent. They did what they needed to
and the
do.
definition of having talent.
I think on the Grizzly side, they got the guard play. They got Kelson and Pacey. I think I need to see more. I think I need to see more Pacey Jacoby. I think I need to just I think if I'm them, let the rock star be a rock star.
Yeah,
Just let him cook.
more Pacey Jacoby for sure. The last game of theirs I watched, I think it was 2 games ago. Kiva Blumenthal was great.
Yeah.
Dominated inside. He's been playing good ball, both on the basketball court and on the tennis court.
By the way, the Grizzlies have had the hardest schedule in the whole
I was
season.
very impressed by Pacey Jacoby when I watched. He wasn't aggressive until the second half, but in the second half, they got the ball to him, and he got buckets when they needed. I was impressed.
Let me read their schedule. They got Clippers week 1. We all agree was a really good team. The Bucks healthy week 2. Okay, that's just a bad draw.
That is a bad draw.
Yeah, that's a bad draw. They get the Kings week 3, who we just said, really great team. They get the Jazz week 4. They get they get a little bit of what
They
get the
they
Nuggets
won their week 3 game, right?
They beat the Kings. So
Yeah.
that makes me
Yeah, that
think
was
that
a
the Kings
crazy
are
game.
beatable. So we get the Nuggets week 4, which is going to be a big game for both of these teams. Then they have sorry about this. They get the Rockets. All right. And they get the Thunder. So they could go on a little 3-game win streak here and get kind of position and kind of be peaking as they get into the playoffs. They're primed to do that with winnable games against the Nuggets, against the Rockets, against the Thunder. These aren't teams with centers, right? They struggled against teams with big men. They've done well against teams with good guards. These next teams, the Nuggets have one big in Burry, right? Who's a very good big.
The Grizzlies are going to smoke them.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Grizzlies are going to smoke them.
I think it might be a good game, but I think it's a game for Pacey Jacoby to really show who's the man versus Mo Heller. I think that's a really fun.
I'm
matchup.
looking forward to Akiva and Burry banging it down low.
Cousins.
Looking forward to.
I don't know who's Cousins anymore. I feel like Blumenthal's cousins with
No,
everybody.
I don't think Blumenthal and Burry Klein are cousins.
Oh, they may as well be. Everyone's a cousin. So let's move on to that's Sixers Magic. I didn't get a chance to watch it. A lot of points on that board, 66 to 63. Bookbinder sends it to overtime. I think the Magic are just enjoying the season, playing with family. I don't think they're going to lose any sleep on any games. They got good dudes. They got good locker room guys. They're all
I don't think I
family.
disagree, and winning is great, but there's value in that, in my opinion, in this league. You want to win, you want to play great. You also want to win and have a good time with the boys and the family and so on. And I respect their grind. I would like them to win, because winning is good. But I respect the family grind.
Yeah, they got all right. So we already got 3 games in this week. We got Wolves Clippers. We saw who won that. We got Lakers Pelicans. Lakers pull one out as Jake Goldberg hits a game winner. We miss it. Nobody gets the tape of it. Hawks Cavs. Hawks pull one out. We got Heat Bucks tomorrow night. I'm not playing in that game. I'm
Why?
missing the game.
Too
I
hungover?
gotta, nah, I mean, at this point, there shouldn't be such a thing. I have a prior engagement. I try to get a switch and everyone agreed to it. Let me just give a little bit of advice. I'm not going to get into this too badly, but, I don't know. I'm not going to get into this. I think we still win. I got to be honest. No Danny. My team's going to be a little bit pissed that the Bucks didn't, want to play us at full strength, or if you ask them, they wanted to play us, but injuries and schedules and sure, yeah, tomato, tomato. I've heard it all, and I'm sure that's all true. But as competitors, we're gonna walk into that game assuming that the Bucks just wanted to duck us. Which, okay, let's talk like two frames of mind, so I don't get in trouble when I see the Weinbergers at a Sheva Bracha. We know that they're great guys. We know that the excuse that they have that their schedules aren't mixing is real. As a competitor, I'm going to take that and I'm going to tell that to my team, and my team is going to take that, and or I'm as a competitor going to take them and say, "Oh, you don't want to play us at full strength. You think you could win this game by ducking the time switch. Let's see how you do it." I think Ben Brenner is back. I'm not sure about the health of Danny Weinberger. I'm not sure about the availability of Ben Haber. Give me my Heat,
Up to John
but
and the
I'm not
Moon.
playing.
It's up to AJ.
AJ and Johnny. So who are you taking in that one?
I don't think. I think I'm gonna ride with my boy Jack. I think he's built a good roster.
I'm not playing, but I appreciate it. I got Nuggets, Grizzlies. I think I'll take the Nuggets. You take the Grizz. We got
Got
Pistons,
it.
Knicks. I think this is my favorite matchup of the week. These are two grinding and gritted out teams.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Gelman,
taking Pistons here.
I think
Even though,
Gelman.
even though we're anti-Baron, I think that they're gonna win. We could for sure, if they get matched up, see some fireworks between Greenberg and Shlomo Farkas.
Yeah, I know. I think Greenberg and Gelman.
We could see
That's
fireworks. We could see fireworks next week.
Gelman and
This week.
Greenberg. It doesn't matter who, but Greenberg's getting a fist fight next week. I don't know who,
Yeah,
but we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
see
I
it.
see it coming.
Kings and Thunder, I think the Kings take them out. I think that's a tough one with all their guard defense. Suns and Jazz is a really good game. I
Yeah,
love
I'll
my
ride
man
with the
Boozy.
Jazz. I'll stick with the family.
I'm gonna go Suns. I think despite the Polinsky fam, I think um I think the Suns are tough.
Yeah, I agree. Tony Angle's probably a horrible matchup for my cousin because Tony's just
Yeah.
bigger than him. But either way, like I'll ride with the family, and hopefully they pull this one out for your boy.
We got Celtics Nets. I think the Nets bounce back and
I'll
Sudworth
take the
has
Nets, of
70
course.
points.
I'm taking Sudworths.
And give me Suds.
Yeah, give me
Sixers
Suds.
Rockets. Sixers Rockets. I think the Sixers beat them up.
I'll take the Sixers
And
if they have to play left-handed.
yeah, and let's go Hornets Magic. I think the Hornets win. I think they really care, and I think they're very underrated. I think the Hornets are very underrated. I think they're going to be a really tough team. They have not played healthy all season. Benny Tugman has not been available.
I'll ride with the
Um,
Magic here.
I think you're wrong. I think you're
I
dead
probably
wrong.
am wrong, but I'll ride with the Magic anyway.
Is there anything else? Oh, two things we have to complain about. Complaint
Yes.
number one: Levy's. When you do the gosh darn draft, please put a guy's height and weight. Make the weight an option, but the guy's got to put his height. You got to make height mandatory.
We need height. We need a combine.
I'm for combine, but no one's trying to get hurt preseason.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. All right,
Anyway,
what's the second thing?
that was it. Height and weight.
All right, fine. Let's wrap it up then.
And we
Late.
need criminal. Wait, we need a third thing. We need criminal rap sheets, so I know who I need to
No,
draft
no, no. We
every
don't need
season.
criminal rap sheets. We
I
need
need it.
Eskimo. We need Eskimo brother lists.
I. But
This is when you're. This is when you get paused. How did we lose you here? There you are.
what were you saying?
No, this time I didn't say anything because I don't want to risk it. All right, Jack. Your feed is crapping out. All right, let's sign off.
Guys, next time.
Yeah. Let's sign off. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.